Shalom, Yashar Allah. Salakia, I had gotten a call from one of the Akia, and had to talk for a little bit, but I'm going to get right back into this lesson, based on what I was saying before I had left. I wanted to go into, Salakia, the scriptures in Judges 10 and 14, but I had started reading in 13, Judges 10 and 13, yet ye have forsaken me. And when we read that forsaken, because the Israelites have cast away his law, statutes, and commandments, started going after these heathens, started going after these other idols, started going after their own way. Whatever it exposed themselves to, whatever church popped up in the area that they're in, like scriptures say, as many cities that Judah had, they had that many gods, lowercase g, because our people, completely got taken over into idolatry, which was the main sin that, got the northern kingdom taken out of the land and ultimately cast over here into the Americas, where they are until this very day. But back to it, the point being is that we have forsaken Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, and there is a consequence to that, which is confusion, being cast here in Babylon, captivity, us not being able to call upon our power, because we, as a nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are connected to our power. And when we are in line, like scriptures go into Judith 5, when we are aligned with our power, we cannot be taken over. This is continuing, and served other gods, wherefore I will deliver you no more. And ultimately we've been taken over here in the last captivity, the Edomite supremacy over here in Babylon the Great, where the majority of the tribes are all gathered together of the 12 tribes of Israel. This is a melting pot society, and part of that melting pot society is going back into the prompt that I had asked this chat GPT, which is the different denominations of Christianity. This is not even mentioning different Islam and different bug out religions that aren't one of the umbrellas of Christianity, but it goes into the number. And this is a broad overview. And this is the major branches of Christianity. Most scholars agree there are three main branches. Catholicism, which, we understand the word Catholicism means universalism. Orthodoxy, Eastern and Oriental, and that's those Ukrainian, Russian churches where they walk around with the big cross and, the black outfit. It's pretty much, Catholicism without all the idols. This is Protestantism, which is other denominations outside of Catholicism, which go into the denominations of Christianity. This is denominational estimates. The World Christian Encyclopedia, 3rd edition 2019, one of the most widely cited sources, estimates around 45,000 Christian denominations or distinct faith groups globally. And the distinct faith groups is going into, they all, hold the Holy Bible. They all take their teachings from the Holy Bible. That's that distinct group that takes the scriptures as being their truth. But, I'm going to say this right now, that is part of the curses that we have been under, is following after, these other gods. And then I'm going to go into Deuteronomy 28 and the wood and stone, Salakia. Okay, it's in 36, Salakia. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 36. The Lord Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. We always teach that wood is going into Christianity, representing of the cross, and stone being into Islam, which is the other main worldwide religion out there, that takes Jake, by the throat, the stumbling block that Esau has casted out. Even though the Israelites, Jake invented Islam to get the damn crazy ass Ishmaelites out the land, to give them something to worship, there's no truth in Islam, and it's also a stumbling block, but also one of the curses that is overtaking our people, which the point being is, if you are following anything other than the God of the Bible, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the scriptures as intended, and the law, statutes, and commandments contained in the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis, Leviticus, Numbers, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, going into the law of the scriptures, you're going off. The law is still in place in the sense that you still cannot commit adultery, you cannot murder, you cannot steal, you cannot take the Lord's name in vain, you cannot eat abominable meats. There's all types of things that the law is still in effect, but will the law get you into the kingdom of heaven? No. The law cannot. Only Yahweh Shai and believing on him and the sacrifice that he did can get you in. And through his mercy. Because us being saved is nothing that we can do by ourselves to say that, oh, I'm so righteous and I got into heaven because I followed all the laws to the best of my ability and I gave my money away to charity. I volunteered my time. You're trying to say that you're this good person, man. It doesn't matter what you did in that lifetime, because what about the other lifetimes? It does matter, so don't say that. But in the sense of, you didn't work out your own salvation. You submitted to the scriptures because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai chose to have mercy on you and give you this truth. So Jake, following after these other denominations, is not going to give them any truth, because if you look at these other denominations, they're not rebuking each other. If each one of these Christian so-called churches is talking about they have the truth, why are they not rebuking other churches? That's because part of having the gospel is defending the gospel. We're out there on the highways and byways having to deal with all these different bugged out questions, which we understand based on us coming out of the church ourselves. But when you really look at what the scriptures say, you can really understand that these Christian churches do not have the truth. And I just wanted to, not really highlight on the emphasis of the details of the denominations. I just wanted to bring the point that there's 45,000 different denominations of Christianity. Christianity insanity to continue, because as you can see, the world is getting crazier. There's never been a more time in recent camps that we've gone to that so many people have approached us knowing about the Hebrew Israelites, knowing about the so-called street teachers that are so angry all the time with the Bible in their hand. People are really starting to make decisions for themselves and see that those crazy men that you see with the cardboard signs on the side of the road saying the end is near are the ones that are actually correct. And I just say it like that because that's how the world looks at us. Like the movie Bruce Almighty, at the very end, the last scene, the homeless man had a sign that said, "This is the beginning." And as you got closer, it changed to Judite's face that was, representation of, the Most High. Going into, those crazy men that you see on the side of the road are going to be the ones that get the glory. Lord willing, I'd be among them, because we stand to defend the gospel against all these different, people that are going against the scriptures. And you have to really understand that it's a part of the curses that we're in this, predicament, and it's an accountability for ourselves for going off. But even though that we're in this position, the Lord has never casted away his people, nor is he going to do away with the covenant with us that he made. And I'm just going to go straight to the point, and to back up that statement, this is Judges 2:1. This is Judges 2:1. Just a historical context. This is when Israel was, going off, and certain judges were putting them in order. This is Judges 2:1. And an angel of the Lord Yahweh came up from Gilgal to Bochim and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and have brought you unto the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. And when that is, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because, that cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night, was Yahweh Shai. And we understand that it was also the Lord that, gave the commandments to Moses on Mount Sinai, when scriptures say he descended, in a cloud, which we believe, through the Spirit was a chariot, because to this day, the Mount Sinai has a burnt mountaintop. This is Judges 2:2, and ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land, referring to specifically our holy land. Ye shall throw down their altars, but ye have not obeyed my voice. Why have ye done this? And as you can see, Jake is not throwing down their altars, but the elect will. The elect, that small remnant of Israelites, is going to throw down those altars, because Yahweh Bashim Al Shai has given us mercy to see. He's opened up that, I guess you could say, that third eye. He activated your pineal gland to have the spiritual and eye salve to be able to really understand what the Bible is about. Put your emotions aside. Understand that the Lord hates, the Lord loves. He has a chosen people, just like you have a favorite of everything in different categories. The Lord just so happens to have a chosen nation that he has chosen to give through a joint inheritance of Yahweh Shai, the world, because the kingdom of heaven is going to ultimately be here on the earth. And who is ruling has been spoken about in the scriptures very clearly. This is I'm going to go into verse 3, because this goes into the same topic. Judges 2:3, wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your sides, and their God shall be a snare unto you. And we know that, the Philistines were those people that ultimately were a thorn in our side. We were always battling with the Philistines, the Canaanites, the Moabites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, because we didn't ultimately obey Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai by casting down, their idols. Because let me tell you what, going back to the original statement, the Northern Kingdom is heavy into idolatry. Just look at the Catholic Church. How many Issacharites you see with rosary beads, the little hilos with the little saints that they have around their neck, man, thinking it's giving them protection when they're conjuring a demon. So not to get too long-winded, but I did hope to want to bring this information to the light. It was just kind of on my spirit, because of all these truths, man. We are here at Great Millstone, starting with the elder Apostle Har, always says we have the 100% truth, and we can go into the scriptures all throughout the Bible, whatever chapter you want to be, and break it down to you correctly. If I didn't do a video on it, another brother did a video on it. You can look up topics, any questions you have. Brothers are out there and more than likely already have done a lesson on it. You just have to search for it. So Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Till next time, I would like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachachwadash, and double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.